Hello, everyone. Well, it's time for me to reflect on my Make an Impact project because I'm finished. If you watched our first video, then you knew that I chose Project A from page 57, and that was to design a poster. There were 3 points. First, I had to research animals or plants that glow in the dark and find out how and why they glow. Next, I had to make a poster to describe 3 of the glow-in-the-dark organisms that I researched, and I was supposed to include photos. If you watched my video, you know I had already decided to draw pictures because I don't have a printer at home. Last, I was supposed to present to the class. However, because Classy wasn't working and we're doing social distancing, I haven't been able to present my poster. Now, let's look at the poster. So here's my poster, and as you can see, it's mostly black and white. I drew or wrote everything except for the chemicals that you can see in the top. The chemicals, I used paper and cut them out and glued them to the poster. So how can I reflect? Usually in MOIS, when we reflect, we use the rubric, but there's no rubric this time. How can we reflect with no rubric? I think there are a lot of ways, but today I'll show you one way. First, think about the important parts of your project. Next, write those in the left column of a blank rubric. And then the third thing we'll do is write what you did and think about what level of achievement that represents. So those are my 3 steps. One more time. Think about the important parts of the project. Write those parts in the left column of a blank rubric. Write what you did and think about what level of achievement that represents. Last, write those things in the blank rubric. So let's try together. My student number is 1111111, and my name goes right here. Now, let me think about the important parts of my project. I think that the first part of my project was research. And then the second important part of my project would be making the poster, making it easy to understand. What could it be? So I've decided there are 2 parts to the poster. Poster 1 would be, poster part 1 is important and easy to understand. And poster point 2, understand? Let's call this point instead. Poster point 1, and then poster point 2. The poster is attractive. That means it looks good. So now, in the left-hand column of my rubric, I've written the 3 points that are important to my project. Research, the poster's points, and point 1, which is how it's easy to understand and has important information. And this last point is that it's attractive. So these are my points for reflecting. Now, let me think about what I did. So now I need to think about the first part with research. I'll go to my poster. And you can see these are my references. So it's a little hard to read, but there's 1, 2, and 3. 3 references. So I was able to use 3 different references, and they're all from the internet. Now, of course, this time I couldn't go to the library because, we've got this coronavirus thing going on. But I'll go back to my rubric, and now I need to think about what I did. I read 3 different sources on the internet to make my poster. Now, is that 7 and 8? Is that the absolute best that I could do? I don't think so. Is that a 1 or a 2? It's very poor? I'm not so sure about that either. I think I'll give myself a 4. I researched 3 websites. And I give myself a 4 because I only did that. I didn't do anything else. Over here, I'm going to put in red letters, next time I will use more websites and include different kinds of web resources, such as videos from reliable sources. So you can see that I've given myself a 3-4 because I only researched, let's put only there, I only researched 3 websites. They were all articles. So they're basically the same kind of information. And to do that better, I'm going to do this next time. So now I can do the same thing with my other parts. I can ask myself, did I use important information and did I make it easy to understand? I can also ask myself if the poster was attractive. And for each of these, I will fill out my rubric to give myself a score and give myself advice for what happens next time. Finally, I can send this to my language acquisition teacher, and the language acquisition teacher can give me feedback about these.